See, this is why I wrote this question, because it's a device.
Yeah,
it is a divisive question.
I'm so glad that you're trying to come up with the most like strategically, like, I don't want to get canceled divisive, but I just want people to know it's fun. It's fun. Everybody get out your handbooks and have fun.
We're having fun here. Drums or flats, pick one.
Hey everybody, my guest today is somebody you're familiar with if you watch this show. Not only has he appeared on the Fight Companions and also one of the Wrestling Companions that we've done before, but he has been a welcome presence for most of you, not for me, because he has provided you with a lot of entertainment between cutting interviews, giving things to his children that he should not give them.
I lost it.
We still haven't seen it, so we don't know. And of course, being a nemesis for this year's WWE BJJ week, coming up very soon, he will have a fight at Fighters Rep 14.
I believe it's 14.
It's the 14th, and that is going to be June 25th, and that is over at Commerce Casino. I'm glad to welcome him back to the show on civil terms. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back, Kevin Ross. How are you doing, sir?
I'm great, Raf. Thank you for having me. All the bullshit aside.
We will discuss, and we'll actually break down what the match looked like to both of us in a second, but we have business to get to up top. So you were fighting back at Fighters Rep. How did this come together? I know you're one of those people who, when they put up the dates, you get excited, like you want to go in there. Yep. And this last one in April, you were unable to because of scheduling conflicts. Yep. But it's kind of hard because it meant that there was a little bit of time off, but you were paying attention though.
Oh yeah. So there was time off. Like you said, scheduling conflict, and it is what it is. But at the same time, it gives me time to heal up, thankfully, which I needed. All sorts of issues, such as the fight life. But now I'm ready to lock it in. And it's come together, and we talked to the promoter, we talked to George, and I'm right back in there. Excited to do it. Been itching, been scratching, waiting, and we're locked in over here.
What did George say when you told him you wanted back in?
Well, yeah, I mean, even in this last fight, their last card, I'm watching all the fights. I'm looking for the heavyweights, looking for the big guys, and I see somebody who won a title. I'm just keeping my eye emojis, and like, okay, all right. Nah, I got to get back in there. I gotta keep my name relevant and step right back in there. So
yeah, it's funny to me because I know how much you pay attention to things, even if you're not necessarily involved. So I knew it was hard because when I talked to you, I was like, "So you're not going to do that one?" You're like, "Hey man, schedule's not going to work." And I go, "But you want to do that one?" You go, "Yeah."
Yeah, it was bigger things at play. The boss lady said no. So
well, okay, we should talk about that. She's not just going to be the boss lady. She's going to be Mrs. Boss Lady very soon.
Mrs. Light Skin Daddy, yes.
So congratulations on that. You. Now, you put up a thing, and I have to figure out what the intention or the basis of this was. You said make it last forever. Are we talking Keith Sweat?
Make it last forever.
Okay, that's giving him way too much compliment. The Keith Sweat that I know and have listened to forever. Make it last forever.
It's a good song. It just reminds me of The Wood. That's where it pops into my head. Is not Mike Epps. Jesus Christ, blanking on his name now, but being drunk with his voice. Make it last forever.
Listen. It's hard to replicate that vocal.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's a little off, but it's actually perfect.
It's Keith Sweat.
So, obviously that has come together. You guys are planning a lot, but does she put down any ground rules? Is she like, hey, listen, you can't have anything in the face. You can't be punch kicking before you get married, sort of a thing?
No, nothing yet. Nothing yet. But I got to take responsibility. I know what she will and won't want. So
okay,
I take full responsibility for that. But I don't get hit a lot, so I'm still pretty.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. We'll talk about that as well. I just know that my wife, before we got married, put an APB out on everybody at the gym and said, you touch his face, I will fuck you up.
I'm sure as we get closer to that date, we'll get one. I'll have one of those conversations. And you know what? You just got to be like, Yeah, okay. Fair.
No one, listen, everybody who's ever gotten married before, don't mess with the wife or the soon to be missus because that's a lot of their show. We don't have to do a lot.
Nope, I just show up.
We just, got to be in the nice tux or the nice suit.
And look good and not have a black eye.
You've already started to get prepped. So about how long is this camp going to be in total?
Probably I think it would be about right around 6 weeks, 7 weeks.
That's
so
great.
Yeah, it's a good amount of time. Luckily, my philosophy is I don't want to be in camp for too long because then your body starts breaking down, you get tired, you just da. But where I'm at right now is right about the halfway mark. We're getting real close there, and I'm sure we'll talk about this later. Had a PKB and being able to kind of like get a little blow off a little bit and then lock it back in. It works well for me.
For me, if I've got to fight, I don't know that I want one of those in between.
It's weird, and I feel like that's a natural thing to do. But for these PKBs or these point Muay Thai things, it's such like a. I always try to say technical. Obviously, you're going out there. Like that shit goes out the window.
Listen, dude, I'm about as technical of a guy who likes to be technical. But when I've shown up there and I've been like, hey, guys, don't worry. They can't knock you out. You send some of these guys off to war, and then you look around and you go, that's not technical. Excuse me, sir.
A lot of the time that shit goes out the window. But I mean, for me, like I view those things as more of a competition rather than like a fight.
Yes.
Especially having been doing this for a little bit longer, it's a little bit of it's a blow off. So it's just like, okay, I've been training for X amount of weeks, and I want to keep like, there's 4 more weeks. It's just like, fuck that training. Let me get a little bit of blow off where it's just like, oh, okay, that felt good. I want to lock it back in because I know that fight when it really, really matters, I'll be dialed all the way in, and that's where I'm at now. It's just like have that blow off, have that little bit of payoff, just a little taste of it. Just to get, the full thing when it comes time.
The more I'm thinking about it, that's a cost-effective way of doing things. Because most people in like big training camps in the UFC, they'll pay people to come get the shit kicked out of them. They'll be like, hey, I'm paying you $1,000. Put it on Kev.
I'll fly you out.
Now you're like, hold on. If I show up at a PKB, it's all legit.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, bud, you're here. You're great. Thank you so much. I'm so sorry for what I have to do.
Yeah, and you get like hard, solid rounds that may not be able to get like at your gym. Especially being a bigger guy, it's hard to find quality big guys. So then you get matched up with these bigger that you have no idea what they're gonna do, which is great because you train with the same people over and over and over again. You kind of know what they're going to do. Yeah. So yeah, it's a good little payoff. You get to see where you're at and what you need to work on, and you take the rest of that time before your fight to dial those things in.
One of my favorites is, so I have Milt on a little bit of a camp for Jiu-Jitsu. And I can tell sometimes when he gets a little Jiu-Jitsu bored and he wants to go back to striking. And there was a night where he was working with you. And I come in, that's a hard sparring night. And I'm just staring at him. And the next day I go, how are you feeling? And he's like, oh, man, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling real good. I was like, all right, cool. I was like, we're going to do about 20 rounds today. And he's like, wait, what?
What? Yeah. That's a lot.
I was like, what's wrong? Is 20 rounds not okay? And he's like, yesterday I worked really hard and I was like, so that's why we do the intro when I say, how do you feel? I saw what you were doing. You have to pretend to be big man against an actual big man.
Me and Milton standing in front of each other the last like 45 seconds of a round, just wailing on each other. We're so tired. We did like 1,900 rounds before that.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, I'm not putting you through 20 rounds. You don't. I saw what happened yesterday. I go, but it will be 10, so you're gonna get fucked up. But having said that. You also were coaching yesterday. So tell me a little bit about the atmosphere, because it was also at the LA Fit Expo. But y'all rolled deep. I want to be just in the realm of estimating correctly. There were at least 80 people.
It was, that's being general. It was a lot of people. I was shocked about how many people, continue to show up little by little. And I look around like, holy shit. Like every time somebody went to the mat, we would go from the warm-up area. It's just like a swarm of people going over to whatever mat they're competing on. It was like, holy shit, this is such a cool thing to be part of, like a team, a family, and whatnot. So yeah, we were very deep. But that Fit Expo is also a great time. I used to do jiu-jitsu competitions there.
Did you?
Yeah. They had jiu-jitsu competitions there, which they did this time.
Yeah.
It was Dream. Dream, the
Gracie Nationals that they do. Yeah.
I'm blanking on her name. What's her name?
Rose Gracie.
Rose, thank you. She was there. But yeah, so seeing all those people there, it was just like, oh, this is super dope. It's a good feeling. I know Milton was elated just to see all that like support. It's super fucking cool. Whether you're fighting or not, just to show up, it's awesome.
So I know what it does for him, but I know that he wasn't competing yesterday. I know that's coming soon for him. You, however, according to Milton's note, went from coaching to then competing. Is there something good and cathartic about being a coach, having all of those nerves, and immediately getting to then do your thing? Because that doesn't always happen. Sometimes you're just there to coach and be one service, but then you go home and you're like, man, I really wanted to get in there.
Yeah, and see, so that's the thing. It's just like, even before I took my first fight, we talked about this last time, you know, why did I decide to fight? Going and seeing like your boys get in there, and you're like, fuck, I need to get in there. It's the same kind of thing. You're coaching these kids, and you're telling them, all right, this is the way you do da 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 da. And so now when it comes time for you to go, it's like, oh, now it's my turn to get to do these things that I'm telling them to do. Now I get to do it. And again, it's just that little bit of payoff. The same type deal with the fight camp. It's just, okay, I'm going to coach you. This is what we're going to do, blah, 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 blah. Now it's my turn. Now I get to go out there and get that release of, rather than just, all right, I'm coaching, I'm done. Like, ugh, it's a little empty. Like, yeah, I'm glad I get to coach, and it's fucking awesome. Yeah. It's a different feeling of happiness, both two different things.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I do have some complaints. Here's the first one. You guys get to go way late. So the big boys get to go way later.
That was the very last one. I was there all day.
Oh, was the last? You were the last one
of our group. I was the very last one, and of the entire thing, I was one of the last maybe 10 or 15 matches.
You do understand statistically, y'all will probably shut it down because of the numbers. Yeah. So there is that.
We had like 10 people compete yesterday.
But I want to bring up the real complaint, which is I saw everybody go weigh in the day before. And I
can't wait for this.
You getting to mail it in and show up at a leisurely time.
So here's the thing about that. They decided to do a weigh-in in downtown LA on a Friday night at 5 p.m. It's just simply not happening. There's zero reason for me to ever be down there near anywhere. No. That on top of I was working, and I'm a heavyweight. It doesn't matter, dude.
I understand that part. If any part that I look down, I go, all right, these poor other guys in their different weight classes have to show up.
Sit in the sauna. Fuck, bro, that sucks. That's terrible. I'm drinking water, washing them.
And so I know that everybody has different schedules. I know that sometimes weigh-ins can be staggered, and I know they're going to weigh in early so that they can get some food back in them. That makes perfect sense.
Logical.
But when I do the math and I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah,
must be nice.
Yeah, it was nice. But then on the back end, I had to get there at 9 o'clock in the morning on Saturday and not leave until 6. So I was there.
I saw that photo. They were all there too.
There. Yeah, but it's just, they didn't start all day. I mean, some people came later, but it's just like, it was exhausting. You got to wake up that much earlier to get down there. So, but I'd rather do that than go anywhere near LA at 5 o'clock on a Friday. So fuck that shit.
One thing I have appreciated about a number of local LA jiu-jitsu tournaments is they do have weighing stations. Yeah. So they do have places that you can go check in. It's like, all right, listen, if this was a weigh-in station here at the gym, no problem. Then other people local to the valley could come.
And that works perfectly. I've experienced that, and that's a great setup. Perfect. But this was not the case.
I'm just saying. I wish don't remember a time when you did jiu-jitsu. So this man forged a blue belt document. Forged. I mean, I'll show you the photo a little bit later.
Okay.
I want to kind of give an opportunity for you to tell me what about the gym made it special. Because when you have 80 people who show up for a PKB, and I know you're trying to put yourself over by saying, I stayed really late. Everybody stayed late. I saw the photo. Having said that, there was something that, as I was on a plane coming back this way, I felt like, man, that's really special. I'm really sad I missed that. I knew it was going to be dope. I knew we had a lot of guys competing. But, what did it feel like, and what were moments that stuck out to you from that particular event?
Well, like I said, I mean, even like just the visual of like us going from the warm up area and everybody mobbing over, like taking over. I mean, it's a good size area, but in this grand scheme of, you know, the convention center, it's not. And what else is going on? Just to see us all mob everybody with the Milton shirt on, the diamonds in the back. It's just a visually thing. It's super dope. And so like growing up, I played team sports, basketball and all that stuff. But like when you get into a gym like this and you know, show up for people that you got punched each other in the face in the gym and all that hard work, you see what they're putting in, and then everybody showing up and supporting that, whether they actually compete or not, it's just a very cool thing to see. And being a part of that, being a part of this like family and this team, it means a lot to me. It makes you work harder. You having these other people that really support you, just genuinely top to bottom, it's a great feeling. That's probably the biggest thing that stands out, you know. It's been a while since we had something like this, and this was kind of like our real big first, like, I mean, since Milton opened, this big first kind of outing, and to see it go like that, fucking beautiful. And it's only up from here. So
yeah, I was really, I knew we would have a lot of people because we've never shown up and not had a lot of people, but I want to say even the first event as a gym was Carlsbad, and that still felt like about a good 30, 40 people who traveled all the way down to San Diego for that one, which great, dope. This was in LA. I looked at that photo and I was like, did they get a drone to take that photo?
Dude, that was crazy. It was actually one of Crispy's boys he was taking pictures and doing it the professional way. So we had some sort of somebody guiding us.
Listen, you are not easy cats to herd.
No, you're not. Just in general.
I have generally tried to yell you guys into a formation multiple times.
A bunch of wild people. But yeah, so like, yeah, it's just thinking back on it now, just that picture is just like, and there were still people that were missing. There's people that took off a little bit earlier, and it's just, oh man, it's only going up from here. Because like you said, Carlsbad, there was a few people. It was a good, you know,
it was a great turnout. Yeah, it was just, we were still building as a gym then.
And even like compared to now, and that's been almost a year. I think that was the end of July. It's been almost a year now. It's impressive.
It is impressive. You know what's also impressive? I believe the last time we rolled, there's been some things that have happened, and some are a little more kayfabe than others. But I believe the last time we rolled, when I retired you from grappling.
Yeah, retired.
There's a clip of you saying that it would be pancakes versus waffles. And I believe waffles won, and I have not received said waffles.
I'll get you some fucking my kids' Eggo waffles,
bro. I'm
frozen.
Not, listen,
I won't even cook them for you.
Listen, down the street there's a place called And
Waffles. Yes,
you will be picking me up and waffle from there. Because here's the dumb part: I have to walk a fine line between being competitive and the smart one. I don't know if you know what it's like to be competitive in the smart one, but being competitive in the smart one means I have to make sure you're okay for events like Fighters Rep. I have to make sure that I'm not breaking the bank.
Yeah.
So when we do these dumb things and you say dumb things to me, I'm always like, I don't know if I'm supposed to do these things.
No, it's still pancakes over waffles. I don't care what you say.
I mean, that's fine, but the bet says differently.
That's fine. I'll get you your little punk-ass waffles.
It's fine. Whoa. You don't need to be so aggressive. It's just, did I beat you in competition? Absolutely. Well, speaking of egos, I saw how you looked yesterday.
Yeah. Let's hear it.
I want to put it out.
Oh.
Why are you dressing like me? You look like me at a fucking open mat yesterday. And I looked and I go, oh shit.
You squint real hard?
Maybe? I'm going to take one of those photos from that.
Shrink it.
I'm just going to be like, do you guys not remember when I won a PKB?
Yeah, I did that. What do you mean?
Crazy, dude.
Yeah, Jiu-Jitsu. What do you mean?
And just like I was a great sportsman with the guy afterwards. Yeah. Look at this photo with this dude.
Yeah, man. I you know what, last time. So that guy actually, fun fact, that guy that I went against yesterday, or I don't know, whenever this comes out, this last PKB, was the same dude that I fought in Carlsbad.
I remember.
The exact same guy. And in Carlsbad, this was a couple weeks before my fight, and between like our second and third rounds, like something happened with my knee and it just didn't feel right. And I was like, you know what? I got to fight in a couple.
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't need this. I'll take the L. The judges were like, oh, you guys both did really good. Here's your little medal. Cool. Fast forward to now, and when I saw that matchup, I was like, oh, hell yeah. Now I get to go against this dude again. And you were talking about how I looked. Last time I didn't wear a shirt. This time I was like, I want to wear a tank top. It feels more comfortable, more natural to, treat it more like a sparring thing. And so I went with the Jordan Love Movement tank top. Shout out to Love Movement, and the Milton shorts. And now that you say that, I was like, yeah, that's exactly what Raph would wear.
But having said that, I'm on a plane. Mm-hmm. I kid you not. I look down at the footage and I go, hey,
wait a minute.
What? What kind of single white female bullshit is this? I do laugh a little bit because, again, on the flight, when I only have a little bit of information, pieces of information that are coming to me, I have the Wi-Fi and I'm kind of sifting through stories and I'm waiting for people to update me. And you guys who did not update me, who told me that you would.
Yeah, Jeezy.
I don't forget this shit.
Jeezy.
So I paid $8 internet fees plus tax for Southwest that just got my money and gobbled it up. But I'm looking down, and as I go through the stories, I had a moment where I go, that's the same guy that you fought. Now, I really wanted to be there because I usually take photos. And once I saw it was the same guy for you, I go, you know what? I don't mind missing it. I already took photos of them together.
We're good.
We're covered on that. I've exhausted those photos of those guys.
When we were about to start the match, the ref was about to start explaining. I was like, dude, we just fought almost a year ago. Like, you don't need to do this shit. We know what we're doing.
And because you guys are in the big boy division, there is an entire possibility y'all gonna keep seeing each other.
Exactly. I'm gonna have to go out of state to do like one of those PKBs out of state, and he might even show up there. Great dude. Shout out to Evan. He's a.
I was about to give him a fake name right now.
No, Evan. No,
Evan.
Yeah, he was Evan Rosenberg, I believe his name is. But regardless, great dude.
I like the way he fought with you when I saw him in Carlsbad.
Tough dude, tough, strong guy. It's good. Again, it's not often you find dudes that are big and that have skill and can move like that, and it's good. I thoroughly enjoyed both of our fights, more specifically this last one because we got to go the full 3.
Yeah, and congratulations to you.
Thank you. Yeah, it was tough. I needed it. It was good. It was good. He actually made me bleed a little bit. Made me bleed my own blood.
Well, I mean, listen, dude. I don't want to say I was rooting for him, but. Just I'm not mad at that.
No, yeah, you know what? Me neither. You need those in your life where it's just like, oh no, I'm not invincible.
Well, yeah, I mean, Crispy's not going to sit here and make Thanos bleed at all, so it's fine. I tell people all the time that those things, they're always good benchmarkers. They're always good progress trackers. So the fact that you actually have the same person that you can check your pace with is really dope.
Yeah, and I talked about it with Milton after. Milton and Gabe was like, yo, you could see the progress that I've made from last to this, and even him. He fought me completely different last time than this time, and it's great, perfect. You want to see that. That's what we're here to do. That's what those things are for, is for that progress. Like you said, have a benchmark. And so you try things out, from me wearing a tank top to doing different things in the corner, and then like, oh yeah, that works for me. It's a good thing to, good time to test and play.
Interesting. What should we know about Fighters Rep 14? Because at this point, you have an opponent who's just been announced. They did a survey, which I won't tell you how I voted because that would violate my HIPAA protections.
HIPAA?
Yeah.
Okay.
My body, my choice. I don't know what you're talking about here.
Oh, whatever.
Anyway, but this gentleman did not win the vote, which tells me that maybe the 80 people that showed up to yesterday also might have flooded the scoreboards there.
Bombarded the post. Bombarded. I was just like, hey, yo, a couple of my opponents, people chimed in. Which, that's what they're supposed to do.
Absolutely.
What my team did is what their team should do.
Absolutely.
But let's drum up some fight. Let's drum up something. Like, let's make it exciting. I mean, might as well have fun with it. It is what it is.
What did they chime in and say?
His people.
Yeah.
I'm root for the underdog, or I'm coming back to this post when the fight's over. It's like, all right, you can come back. We'll have words.
What does that mean?
You know what? Something happened on the last time. Same thing. Dude was like looking to place a bet, like betting, like openly, and one of our guys was like, "Hey, yo, like, I'll take that bet. Like, what's up? Like actually, like trying to bet money." And like, yeah, it's not that serious. You got to relax.
Yo, I hate to be, again, I love me some nonsense and fun. just what the fuck are we doing here?
I don't fucking know. It's insane.
I'll tell you, this is very similar to what we, I guess, in one respect, not the fighting, but the Charles Oliveira fight comes up. We put out a meme, and I think it's the most genius meme. Have this in the back pocket for you in the event you ever have to make an actual person weight again. Charles Oliveira misses weight. Then, when they talk to him about it the next day, or at the weigh-in, Joe Rogan's like, hey, what happened there? What happened? And he goes, first things first, I don't question God. And I was like, oh my God, that's a genius way to miss weight.
Put it on God. It's God. It's in God's hands. What do you want me to do?
Like, you really want to take this up with God?
God put, half a pound. What do you want me to do?
I don't question him, and I don't question you.
What I'm going to do?
Don't question me.
Yeah.
So when that happened, I go, that's a great thing to say. So anytime I'm coming down with fat, I'm going to be like, don't question God. So I put up a meme that said, I am going into the rest of 2020 with the don't blame me because I'm fat energy of Charles Oliveira. Now, it's easy to make the assumption that we are anti-Charles Oliveira. However, we're more so situationally making a joke here.
Yeah.
We got some people, one of whom several of whom I didn't expect to be very on the pro-God side about finally a pro-God meme. And I go, I don't know that you're going to enjoy us if you are that route.
I don't think you know how this is going to go.
They probably saw that a brown guy is there. He's like, must be brown and Catholic. I'm there. Great. Good. So it's like, that's fine. If they want to read it as a pro-God meme, it works. My wording was just vague enough for it. But there's another person, and a few of these showed up. They sent us the thing, and there's a direct message that said, eat shit. And I go, I think they're trying to say, don't comment on him being fat because you're fat. I don't really know. Okay, cool. So I don't go much into it. I just go, okay, this guy's, he's in his feelings. It's fine. After the Charles Oliveira fight, he sent us a follow-up. I'm here on air with Milton closing up shop. And I go, oh, you ain't shit. You see what happens when you question Charles Oliveira. And I go,
wait, what?
Oh. And I show it to Milt, who's drunk, and I go, Milt, look at this. Milt's like, fuck that guy. Fuck, fuck
him up.
And I was like, Milt's trying to get like a 5K side bet with him to come in the gym and settle it. No, so I put this up. I take his thing, I screenshot it, but I don't put his name because, I'm respectful. And when I put it up, this guy comes at me. And he goes, why you put that up? And I go, because it's funny, dude.
Hysterical.
You sent it to me. I didn't do shit. And I clearly find this funny.
You brought this upon yourself.
It's just, oops, you did this.
It's like the same thing I saw you posting about DC talking about weight missing and stuff like that. And, the towel gate. And then people coming at you for that. Like, as if DC's completely absolved of any sort of anything.
What problems happen here is it shows me how much dick y'all suck that you can't have fun with these people. And it's like, no, I don't hate DC, but it's fun to make fun of that guy.
Absolutely.
One, he talks funny because sometimes he sounds drunk when I know he's not drunk.
He might be. I don't know.
He might be, but I've just seen that Louisiana draw come out where sometimes you'll be like, DC, what was your favorite part about that fight? I don't know, man. That was one thing. And that guy, I tell you, that one guy over there, too. And I
tell you what, man.
That dude crazy. You forgot an article there, but I'm not going to hate you for it, DC. So yes, when people come at us for DC, I just go, listen, if you guys take the time to send it to us, you become content.
Absolutely.
And the one man who sent us the Charles Oliveira thing ended nicely because he goes, you're right. I just realized I was kind of being toxic. I'm sorry.
For no reason.
Immediately follows us. And I go, why is this so hard? You clearly found us because you did a hashtag search.
100%.
Or you saw someone repost our meme, which did pretty well, so I'm not going to complain. But then when you come at us, it's not an unfriendly thing. So when people are doing this for a fight situation, it's like, y'all, Los Angeles is pretty chill.
Yeah.
We don't need to be doing that. Yeah. And for this guy, if his guys are showing up to say, I think my guy's going to win, he should.
That's how it's supposed to go, and I would not take offense to that. If the roles were reversed, I'd be looking at my friends like, "Hey, yo, what the fuck? I'm getting bombarded over here by this guy and all his boys. Where you at?"
there's that, and then also it's like the internet. It's not that serious. Like don't take it that serious. Let's have some fun with it. But it also, more importantly, where the fuck are my friends at?
I do like the idea. I've never told people this out loud, but I've definitely thought about like, hey, can you guys go give us a 5-star review? A week later, no 5-star reviews. I'm about to armbar you.
Hey, fucker.
I'm literally not releasing this fucking hold until you bring him his phone.
Bring it. Yeah. While you're locked up, do it.
You got one arm free. I will not let this one go.
Single hand mode. I don't know.
But I've definitely told people that. All right. So what can we expect? What is the thing that we need to get excited about for that Fighters Rep 14? You've learned how to cut promos in the time since. Because I've taught you. I had to give you a whole workshop.
Thanks, Dusty.
I had to dusty you, man. I was like, tell me what's special about you.
Yeah, man. So like I said, it's been what I think I've missed the last 2 Fighters Rep, which not by choice, but it is what it is.
Situationally.
Situationally. So you're getting to see the light skinned daddy step back in the cage. It's been two events. I know y'all waiting for me to get back in there. I know the team's waiting for me to get back in there. We're gonna show up. I'm going to be much more comfortable. I wasn't too thrilled with my last performance. So with that being said, taking that, throwing that shit out the window, showing up, doing what I need to do, starting off fast, getting this dude's face and getting out early. I don't want no 3 rounds. No, fuck that. I'm tired of that shit. I need to do what I need to do. And I know what I'm capable of. And that's just what it is. Light skinned daddy's back.
Thank you so much for being so great on that.
Yes.
You didn't have to. You have to down the whole thing.
Not the whole thing, but you got to get a good amount in there.
You got to. Oh, I mean, usually when I'm on air, I just take like a.
No, you got to get a good amount in there. I don't fake sip it.
I'm trying. It's not a fake sip.
I'm not saying you.
I didn't just put
it. Wine bucket.
Well, I'm just saying, man, you fight in a few weeks, so you can't be adding extra LBs for a weigh-in that you don't even need to attend.
Talk about adding extra. I lost 14 pounds in the past almost 2 weeks, so I'm good. Yeah,
you know, I was about to compliment you. I saw somewhere. I was like, damn, you're looking a little thin, man.
Yeah, so I started the fight camp 2 Mondays ago, and I think it was 273. And now I weighed in at that PKB the other day at 260. It's been basically 2 weeks now. So
damn, dude.
It comes off easy. It also goes on just as easy. But yeah, so one beer isn't gonna fucking hurt me.
I mean, the one thing I'm more concerned with now is the attire for getting in for whatever your measurements need to be for the wedding. So now I'm like, we gotta.
Well, yeah, and that's the time you really gotta start slimming down. Yeah, I'm gonna keep cutting weight. I'll get a little comfortable after I fight, but I'm gonna keep coming down. There's a goal that I'm trying to reach. Like I say, one beer is not gonna hurt me. This shit'll come off tomorrow morning. When 6 a.m. nice and early. So
yeah, you've been making the 6 a.m. It's good for you.
Yeah,
dude.
you know, having a full-time job, you just got to find time to do it. And it's just like I said, it's one of those just commitment things. You just wake up at 5:15, get here at 6, do what you need to do, go home, and then you can relax for a little bit. So it's good. Yeah, if you really want it, you'll figure out a way. So.
Every time I see those photos, though, I go, R.I.P. Jeezy, man.
Bro. Oh yeah, Jeezy. I put Jeezy through the ringer. Jeezy's my guy. He's a great dude, and I love him for it. As well as just trying to soak up all the knowledge. Always asking me about stuff. He's a good dude. I love that guy.
There's a moment where I saw from his fight at the PKB, his match, and he basically got a takedown. I go, listen, that bodes well for what we do. So I was like, 2 points, kid.
That's behind the scenes. So Jeezy had his match. It was a tough match.
Yeah.
The guy that he went against was
he was good. I saw that. A lot of that match.
He was better than Jeezy, which is fine. These are things doesn't matter.
I mean, let's put it this way. From what I could see on the Instagram live, is I was like, this dude's got great base.
Yeah.
Good extension on his kicks.
Yeah.
A reach advantage, and you know, there's some problems that at the time are difficult to solve. But I was looking at Jeezy, I was like, made it all 3 rounds.
Yeah, he
was in it.
We went through a very tough little match, which is fine. That's what those things are for, to get benchmark. Okay, now I know I need to work on. Doesn't matter, win, lose, doesn't matter. But after the fact, we're talking about, like, because he got pushed, kicked down a couple times.
Yeah.
And then he did get that nice little double leg.
Beautiful.
I was like, he said, fuck it. If I'm gonna get beat up like this, I'm gonna take something away. I'm getting a double leg on this guy. So we were like, hey, applaud for that.
I was watching that on the Instagram Live, and I said, I don't think you're supposed to do that per se.
Fuck it.
But good entry.
Yeah. Hey. There was another one of the guys that had a bit of a got a little too excited, we'll say, and like caught a kick and like launched this kid off the mat. And it's like in that setting, it's like, no, don't do that. It's too much. Any other time, real fight, hey, that's fucking great. That's beautiful. His thing was like, I didn't know what to do with it. I was like, so you just throw the kid? Whatever. It worked out. It worked out, but it was just funny to like any other time. Great. There, not so much.
To be honest, that's a perfectly reasonable explication to me because
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, launch this kid.
This dude thought he was going to try and hit a backflip that's assisted. Yeah. So he's like, you know what? Let me see if I can launch you up in there, bro. I want to help you. I mean, listen, dude, you don't give enough launch.
Yeah, it's on your neck.
Bad things happen,
end
bro.
Up on ridiculousness.
Dude, I'm not trying to have that in my life. Again, Jeezy, very proud of you.
Yes.
Love you, bro.
Yes.
But you are definitely doing a solid here. So the nice part is he's also going to have a hand in what you do in your next fight. So that's going to be very cool.
Exactly. Everybody plays a part. You know, it's not, I step in there by myself, but I didn't get there by myself. So.
Well, especially when you're coming at these 6 a.m. sessions. And you're looking around and you go, hey, guys, I'm so sorry. It's the work's got to get done.
Yeah, it's very few. And I got work to do. They got work to do, and we're gonna do it together. Obviously, it's maybe a little bit more geared towards me now that these PKBs are over, but I can't do the work without them, and so I greatly appreciate everybody, no matter who it is, that comes in and trains with me. So because I know
these things also have a way of switching on a dime. Mm-hmm. Like when it's someone else's turn, like everybody in the gym just responds accordingly.
Exactly. Everybody, all know what the goal is. We all know this person needs this and and we're gonna do everything to get them prepared. Because like I said, at the end of the day, only one person steps in that cage or that ring or whatever, and they're in control. But they didn't get there by themselves. They got there with a crew, a family of people that helped them prepare for that moment. So.
Well, what we're going to do now, we're going to go ahead and switch questions. You've written some for me. I've written some for you. Yep. Did doing it before help inform the way you were going to do this?
The questions?
Yeah, because you're the first person to get to do this twice.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Shout out. So my things were always like, let's step outside of the box. I want something a little bit divisive, nothing crazy. But like last time, waffles and pancakes. Hot topic.
Yes, very hot topic. I loved... When I looked back at the edit and I could see the look on your face, there was one angle of you that I didn't include in the final cut. But there was one where when I open it up and I'm like, waffles or pancakes? What the camera doesn't see is you putting your beer down and like, I wrote that. That was from me. And I go, I almost put that on there, but I needed the crawl to come in with the question. I go, fuck, that's really funny. This man is so proud of that question. So. Well, let's go ahead and exchange here. You have those. I have these. Would you like to go first on this one, sir?
Who went first last time?
Dude, I don't remember.
All right, I'll go first. All right, let's see. This will fold in a nice little paper football. Pop star that you most identify with. Okay, now pop star. Mm-hmm. Pop star like what?
A musician.
Because pop is just popular.
Yeah.
All right. Fuck, bro. I have no idea. My first instinct is like, okay, like Drake. But okay, I'm not really anything not like really Drake. Yeah, am I? Not at all. Now let's go into the racial thing. Okay.
You don't have to go racial.
Well, this is how my brain is going. I'm just telling you how my brain's going. Like a Trey Songz? No. Fucking R&B. No. I do like R&B. Like more like a Chris Brown. Okay. I'm not mad at that.
The problem is Chris Brown dances.
I dance.
Athletically.
Yeah.
Your dance is like, when Britney Spears does an 8 count, but not anymore.
Me like that.
Hold yourself. I'm just saying, she's still hitting most of the steps, but like, if you ask her to do more than an 8 count, she's going to need a minute.
So, yeah. How about Wiz Khalifa?
Okay. I could get behind that.
Smokes a lot of weed.
Okay.
And now he does Muay Thai, if you go back and watch his videos when he first started, it was atrocious, like most people. Yeah. To now, dude, he looks fucking great, man. I don't appreciate him leaving the gym in his fucking underwear with his meat print showing, but hey, whatever.
I guess the other question is why are you looking at that?
It's on his. It's like he posts the thing and he's walking. His videos of him walking out in his fucking compression short. Like, bro, come on, put some pants on. We already Gilly the kid went on him.
Unfortunately, here's what happens though: they see part of the culture, and so they think like, oh, well, dudes be walking out in Valley Tudos, so I'm gonna walk out in my underwear, and it's like, nah, dude, that's not.
No. So to answer the question, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, my first instinct was Drake, not Drake. Maybe Chris Brown-ish was...
Bro, Chris Brown famously danced from table to table at a VMAs. You do not strike me as someone who would dance on one table, let alone jump past another one.
Get enough of these in me. There's a lot of things I might do.
Because I've seen the elements of your dance, and they are good for you.
Listen, I'm a big boy.
You know, yep.
We'll move forward.
We're going to move forward indeed. All right. The question you've given me right now, it says wings,
this is the
drums or flats?
This is the one.
It's got to be drums. Why would you go anywhere else? Why are you doing flats? Are you going boneless too?
No, okay. Don't eat chicken nuggets. Fredward, wherever he's at, seems to think that I like boneless wings.
Is he just saying that to just make you look bad?
I guess so. I don't know. But because I like flats and I eat flats the way that they're supposed to be eaten. So in a flat, there's 2 bones, right?
Yeah.
You break them in half, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Take one bone out, take the other thing, put the rest of the wing, and then just whoop, pull it all out. Done. So and somehow in Freddie's brain, that's boneless.
I think he's critiquing you in that he feels that drumsticks are better.
They're not.
And I believe drumsticks are better, but I've never turned down a flat.
No. Yeah. Okay. You're gonna present to me a plate of chicken wings. If I have my choice, give me all flats. Like if I'm going to Wingstop, it's all flats all the time. But if their drums are like, if I'm somewhere and they don't have that, like, okay, I'm eating it. But I'd rather have a flat. Drums are for children. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I had to
You
throw
went
that at
there.
you.
Okay.
Yeah, I had to throw
Okay.
that. It's a drumstick. It's not a wing. It's a drumstick. It's a leg.
They got the best part. What they did was, oh, I'm sorry. Do they have flats at Disneyland that you can have that are gigantic?
Well, that's a turkey leg.
What do you fucking think of fucking part of a
It's a
drumstick?
chicken leg. A turkey leg and a chicken leg are 2 completely different
You're
things.
comparing legs on just 2 different animals.
Yes. See, this is why I wrote this question, because it's a device.
Yeah,
it is a divisive question.
I'm so glad that you're trying to come up with the most like strategically, like, I don't want to get canceled divisive,
No,
but I
it's
just want
fun.
people to know it's
fun.
fun. It's fun. Everybody
team.
get out your handbooks and have fun.
We're having fun here. Drums are flats. Pick one. If you pick drums, get out.
Well, here's what happens. If I'm having wings with you, it just means I get the delicious parts.
Well, that's perspective, because I think I get the delicious
Yeah,
parts.
dummy. That's exactly what it means. Both of the pieces fit. You're just trying to put yourself back over
But
here.
I'm looking at you, judging you that you're eating drums.
That's fine. The problem is you are so tall that you're actually hitting your head on a number of different surfaces. So yeah, it's probably showing some CT, not from fighting, just from being stupid enough to believe this.
You're crazy. If you were a fight promoter, what is the first fight you would make and why? Okay. What?
Context for everything. Just
Well,
literally.
no, I just want. Okay, if I'm a fight promoter, do I have a pick of any people fighting ever in the history,
you have
or just
no
right now?
conditions.
Okay, Anderson Silva versus Jake Paul right now. Do it.
Fuck, dude.
I knew you were thinking that.
No, it was not what I was
know you
hoping
were thinking
for.
that, and that's what you wanted me to say.
No,
and
I
that's what
don't
I'm
need
gonna
you
say.
to do that because people
Real
who think
world?
that you're talking about dumb people here.
Nah.
You are the dumb dramatic person that needs to see an old retiree
Yep.
versus a new young startup buck.
I sure do. Did you not just see Anderson Silva knock out some guy?
Yeah, but were you
With the
not
same
hold on,
shit that he did
hold
to
on.
Tito Ortiz,
Were
by the way.
you not concerned about Anderson Silva doing this?
Nope. Sure not. Nope. It's Anderson Silva. What are you going to do? Anderson Silva versus Jake Paul immediately. In the real world and in my made up fake being a promoter fight world, abso-fucking-lutely. The biggest bag Anderson Silva will ever see ever. And like, tell me you wouldn't watch that. You'd be super intrigued leading up to it. Like, so the only thing about it is like Anderson pretends like he can't speak English. We all know he can speak.
I can't.
He speaks perfectly good English. He might have an accent. He speaks English. The only thing is just like Jake is the bad guy, right? He talks shit. what are you really gonna talk shit to Anderson Silva about? Like,
He'll
try, but it'll fall a little short. Where it's just like, yeah, but it's like. But I also think he has enough respect and like to kind of like know what it is that he's getting into. But yeah, that's the main event on my.
Actually, you know what? I hope he does exactly the same kind of trash talk that he's done for the others. It's like, oh yeah, Anderson, you don't own this watch. Anderson be like, no,
I don't care.
It's not normal. No, I don't care.
Give me Anderson Silva versus Jake Paul as the main event.
I saw you post that yesterday, and
it makes the most
100% honest with you. The question I proposed there had nothing to do with that, though I did judge you when I saw that. And I said, this idiot wants to see the same drama show that every other amateur analyst, and yes, I'll stand by that, amateur analyst has put on. And I see you, if you posted that and you feel offended, you should. It just shows you have the scope of this much fight game that you are narrowing in. The reason why you're saying it's the fight to make is because you're trying to will it into existence. And I'm not saying it can't happen. It probably will.
It should.
It should not.
It should. It's
not.
The most entertaining for Jake Paul. You can think what you want. The kid knows what he's doing, and he's very good at what he does. It's the most, and it makes the most sense for that. Like, who the fuck else? You're going to watch Anderson Silva box some other random guy? Name the guy that he boxed. Go. I can't tell you. No one knows. At least make it entertaining. At least make it a spectacle. That's what we're here to do, right?
But you know, the whole purpose of these exhibition matches is when they bring him to some Saudi prince, they're like, do you know who the other guy is? And the guy goes, no.
Yeah. Yeah. But, like, okay, so, like, Floyd Mayweather fought last night, too. I don't think anybody, I mean, you watch clips of it, but, like, he fought some guy it was an exhibition match. But, like, if you're going to do these things, you're going to have these people boxing. Like, get a fucking big-ass bag. Get money. Like, that's the whole point of this thing, is that if you want, like, a more, I guess, serious, I am serious about that. You want another serious fight, give me Errol Spence and Bud Crawford now. That should have also happened. We can get super, like, realistic about it. But again,
like,
I'm very realistic about Jake Paul and Anderson Silva.
The reason why is because everybody knows the quadrants in which they can appeal to, and that it would be enough of a show that idiots, people who they know better, they would tune in anyway.
Yeah, it's entertaining. It's everything is wrestling, Raph, and you know that. Everything is wrestling. Put on a show. We watched Jake Paul knock Tyron Woodley the fuck out, and it was beautiful. We watched it here. It was amazing. It was awesome. I still have this still photo of Tyron Woodley sleeping on the canvas in my phone because it's that good.
I mean, I still have the photo that did great numbers for us of him being Iron Man on the bat. It's great. He did the Tinkerbell pose. And sometimes when I go past my work, like, I don't ever look at other memes and go like, oh, that was a good one. But that's one I have 100% looked at and I go, oh, damn. Good work, me. Good work, me, everybody. Oh, man. You know what, Raph? Take a vacation day. Get out of here. You could leave the office early today. Best advice for someone wanting to start a podcast. Are you trying to start a podcast?
You know what? To be perfectly honest, I thought about it. How I would go about doing that, I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a thought that's in my mind. I have opinions. I like to talk shit. That's the best. Who doesn't like talking shit?
Do you know that Joe Budden's already in existence?
Joe Budden,
I'm just saying. No, you have, I think, the right rabble-rousing spirit.
Yeah,
that I think it can be. So my stuff, I always think like this, is like, man, if I wanted to sell out hard and really make a show of the show, I could. Mm-hmm. So when you see my stuff, it never has a dramatic headline. No. It's always like, yo, it's me and this guy. Tune in or don't.
Yeah.
Because It's always the idea of like, you are tuning in for my caliber of interview, and I like to have it be like, if you know me, you know you're in for a good interview. Or if you know this person, you want to see them and you want to hear certain things. Now, that doesn't mean it can't exist the other way. I think the thing that you have that would lend itself very well is you're good with starting up dumb shit for no reason. So I think that you have a good spirit. What I would say is the best advice I always give to people when they want to start off is if you don't have the angle for what you do different than everybody else, don't do it.
Right.
Because I've had people who come up to me and they're like, man, I'm the funniest guy at my gym, or I'm the funniest guy that I know. And I go, okay, but people are different. And if you don't have your hook that makes you different, then you don't have the reason to stay up at 2 a.m. when everybody else isn't.
Right.
So this is it. So that's why when, a lot of the guys, when they're talking about competing, when they're talking about competition for MMA and jiu-jitsu and all that sort of stuff, they're like, oh man, don't you want to compete? I was like, I compete every day. This is
just a different
this
competition.
is me. If I was taking my time to do what you were doing, I would probably have to be as dedicated and as focused as you are to win and do that. I go, I'm up against people always starting new shit.
Yep.
And you've always got to have your hooks. And I go, the hard part is podcasts go in waves. So like you get people who think you're hot shit, and then there's a drop off, and then you've got your regulars, and then you've got people who are like, I don't like that. I remember when they were cool. So you have to have such a steadfast want to do it. And I love doing this. So I never have a question for it. I'm like, no. I will show up. I will do the work. Usually you need just good microphone. This kind of helps. So the technical side of stuff, I can easily tell you stuff to do that makes it affordable and smart. But if you don't have that why, do not do it. It is it could be a death sentence for some people.
Yeah.
And my favorite thing is when people start podcasts, they'll be like, oh man, we just had 10 episodes. I was like, call me when you get to 50.
Yeah.
Until then, you are not a podcast.
And then go from 50 to 100 and 100 to 200. And
but you'll find people, and it doesn't mean lots of people have success, and a lot of people are even more successful than the stuff that I've done. But I would tell you, it all stems from people who I've talked to who just go, you have to know the reason why you're doing it.
Yeah.
And that, not just the hook, but it's like, we've had people go, oh, we're doing a funny sports podcast. And I go, cool. Have you heard some of the good ones? And they'll be like, yeah, like this guy or this guy. I go, no. You can't be them. They exist.
Yeah, you got to be something different.
You got to be different.
Yeah, that's kind of like how business is. You got to find something that this market is missing, and then fill in that void. Like you said, finding your why, your voice, or what it is. Because my thing is, like, I like to talk shit, especially about sports.
Yeah.
Or even like drums or flats, stuff like that. It's just like, okay, but how am I going to be different than the next person? Because there's a billion, everybody's got a podcast things out there.
Yeah, I would not rush away from it. I always think like, there is something there. You could be the Bully Ray of kickboxing.
Yeah, shout out to Bully Ray.
You've got a right spirit for that sort of stuff. And there's always ways to do it. But the best way to get it is, are you an interview show? Are you a topical news show? Yeah. Are you a big event guy? Like, we have little flourishes in multiple ponds. So that's what I like doing, is because when I see other hosts and I take an evaluation of what they're good at, is I go, they can't do live.
Yeah.
I'm not as good here, but maybe this is my corner in. I do this. Yeah. And especially when I see people who do comedy and interviews, I'm very like, the comedy has to, it's like a two-way dance. It's like, I know I'm funny, but I'm trying to make you funny. Yeah. And then knowing when to kind of ease out. So those are my notes.
Yeah. Thank you. It's interesting. And
I would think
anybody else listening, it's good advice.
I would honestly listen to your show. So
I appreciate you. Maybe one day soon.
But then I would probably stop subscribing after the third.
Most underrated cartoon character of all time. Whew. Oh man, that is a very broad. My first instinct is Doug.
Okay.
I think Doug is super underrated because it's not like this super flashy thing.
Yeah, but he's got a huge following because of people loving it in the 90s. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I love Doug. I love Skeeter, I love Petty Mayonnaise. I love everybody, all of them. Great. Doug is a good one. I also think all the characters from Real Monsters.
Okay.
That was my shit as a kid. I don't think that gets enough love. Everybody like goes to Hey Arnold or the Rugrats or SpongeBob, which are all great, perfect. But my first instinct is Doug and Real Monsters. Okay, that was my shit growing up. Okay, so, who doesn't like banging on a trash can, drumming on a street light? Yeah, y'all don't know that if you weren't a Doug fan. You weren't a Doug fan, you don't know that shit.
Because one of my most recent thoughts, and this is all stemmed from, if you guys haven't seen the Rescue Rangers movie.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It's stellar. That shit.
With the ugly Sonic.
Oh my God. Like, it's hard to hit that nostalgic note as good as they did and still contribute something new. But I think it was very creative, very funny.
Pause. Why did you watch the Rescue Rangers movie? Like, I have a 6-year-old. That would make sense for me to say.
First of all, how dare you? Young at heart. Second of all, that IP speaks to both your generation and my generation.
I know. Yeah, I know Chip and Dale. I got it.
Third of all, this comment on my watching works better if you didn't say, "Oh, Ugly Sonic was my shit." Oh shit, credibility.
No, I know who Ugly Sonic was.
Oh, okay. You know who Ugly Sonic was.
I did just watch the new Sonic movie with my 6-year-old.
I didn't watch that shit.
It was pretty dope. I'm not gonna lie.
But I waited when it was on Paramount Plus to watch Sonic 1. Jim Carrey.
Hey, yeah,
perfect.
Perfect.
Jim Carrey
Perfect
understood
for
the
that
assignment.
role. Yes.
He literally showed up and said, "You guys make video game movies that are terrible. I'm going to give you a Robotnik that feels what you need to feel like in a movie like this."
I'm not gonna lie to you. That second Sonic was actually pretty good. I was entertained.
Was it better than the first?
I didn't see the first one because
How'd you go into the second one not knowing what the first was all about?
because it's Sonic. I got it. I figured it out. Whatever. But the second one, and then it's got Knuckles in it.
Yeah.
Knuckles is my guy. Yo. Again, I have an excuse. I have a 6-year-old.
Yeah, okay. I'm sure that 6-year-old is your shield that you're using to protect yourself.
It was good. It was a good movie. I wasn't mad.
No
Sometimes
one's coming. Yeah, that's fine.
for people that have kids, you go to these, you watch these movies with the kids, and sometimes you're like, holy fuck, this is awful. This wasn't that. Like, okay, like Disney does good. Like Encanto does great. It's a great movie.
It's a great movie.
Coco will make you cry. I dare any adult to watch that shit and not cry. It's sad. But then there's some where you're just like, this is really bad. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get through this. Sonic 2 wasn't that bad. It was pretty good.
Sonic 2 or Rescue Rangers?
Oh, Sonic 2. Easy.
Interesting.
Easy.
Because they took big swings on this Rescue Rangers. And
that's what I'm hearing. I mean, with the ugly Sonic, I don't even know the context. It's just funny that it's even in there.
Wait, did you watch it though?
No, I just know it's social
So
media.
you don't even know?
No, I don't. I just know that
You just picked one. You didn't say, "Raph, I didn't watch that. I don't know."
I just know that ugly Sonic is in it. And that's made me laugh, is that they put that in there.
So you're just laughing at the context the internet gave you as a preview without
Yes.
the actual context of the movie.
Correct.
So you're speaking ignorantly.
Sure, it's
Okay,
the internet.
just
That's
wanted
what
to
we
make
do.
Then you know what? You're ready for a podcast
Feelings,
right
no
now.
facts.
Stats. Here's what I'll tell you. Yes, watching the Rescue Rangers movie, it's quite good. Be like, why are you watching the Rescue Rangers movie? Bro, I grew up during the actual Disney afternoon. You can get off of your fucking high horse.
Hey, man. Hey, whatever makes you happy, Raph.
I want to tell you
support
this right now. Rescue Rangers, love the shit out of that. Darkwing Duck was my shit, though. That is
Top
forever.
tier. Let's get dangerous.
I just want to make sure that people understand. That hit the sweet spot for me.
Top
That,
tier.
Spaceballs explained my sense of humor. And, honestly, probably explained most of the bits that we did when we were doing this.
Top tier.
Is there ever a time where you would compete in jiu-jitsu? Yes, absolutely. I've thought about it, but I don't have my why. And I think that's the big thing. So in the same way how like when you're doing edits at 2 a.m., my why is I want to be the best at this. I don't have the want to be the best at jiu-jitsu. And I don't like having a single goal of like a tournament because I feel like, oh, this tournament means the world to me. It's like, not really. What a tournament would do for me is give me a good marker on, am I trying to implement a part of my game that like I've really worked on and that I'd really like intel on. And I don't want to pay money for that.
Yeah.
Like I get really good intel from being in every room possible. And if I ever want to work with somebody, I send them a note. I was like, would you like to train?
Yeah, this is the thing is you coach and train, you work with everybody. But my always thing was like, yo, I wonder Raph doing a competition, like what that would look like because competing, it's a different mindset.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
You just said it's different.
So, this is also something that I don't think I've told Milt this. I've told a few of the guys this. You've never seen competition me in sports.
Yeah, it's different.
It's not fun. It's not this guy. This guy's fun. That guy is quiet.
But if
is.
if that's your thing to get you to that point, then that's your thing. Some people like get super serious or whatever. I know there's fighters that get, you're not fun to be around.
Yeah.
But obviously fighting, if that's their profession, then this just comes with it. For you, obviously, it's like, I don't want to have to be that.
It's just, that guy's not fun.
Yeah.
That guy, I was that guy. And when I was playing sports, I played sports for 11 years. And I wouldn't say I was a great athlete then, but I took everything so seriously. And over the years, I learned how to have a little bit more fun. That I'm like, if I want to compete, I want to have fun, and I want to do stuff that I think is super dope. And I've never crossed the door to it, and I think it will happen. It's just, I've never had a why for it.
My personal selfish reasons, I would love to see it just because I'm curious. I want to see it in a competition setting. Because like I said, you're always training, we're having fun, you're helping people out and getting rolls in. But like, I'm just curious to see like something like you compete. Like, what does that look like? Again, that's my own selfish. I'm sure maybe other people probably have the same feeling. Where it's like, yo, I want to see Raph compete.
I'm sure they do, and I've been told as much. I've told, who was it? I think it was Milton, somebody like Froster, one of those guys, and they were just kind of like, oh, okay, cool. And I've told them, I'm like, I'm not against it. It's just, I think at one point, Milton and I talked about doing one together. And then I was like, I'm bored. Like, nah.
Yeah, you say if you don't have a why, just like even with podcasts or stuff like that, is if you don't have a why, as is with most things, it makes it harder to
but
like
you
justify
approach it as an athlete who does it, and you probably are like, styles make matches. Raph has a weird style. How would that go? So, like, I don't think you're wrong in that sense, and I probably wouldn't do half of the shit that I normally do. Because I tell people, I'm like, hey guys, if you fight, don't ever do what I do. I have a game plan for you that is not at all that.
I play around. I
fuck around to the point where I'm like, I probably lost that on points because I was too busy trying to hit a Boston Crab in the middle of it.
But I had fun.
But man, it was worth it. So don't be surprised if it does happen.
I would love it.
I know y'all are very supportive and great about that.
I'm fucking there, front row with a sign.
God.
Yeah. I'm trying to embarrass you.
Boof. If I had a reason why I lost it right there too.
When are you going to retire from grappling competition? I retired from grappling competition.
No. Read it right. It says, when are you going to unretire?
I thought it said
you just said retired. I was like, fam,
I'm already there. When are you going to unretire from grappling competition? I don't know if that's ever going to happen. My body cannot take it, man.
That's a fucking dumb thing to say when you fight.
Yeah, it's different though. Like grappling training, like even training for an MMA fight. Like I was just having this conversation the other day at dinner. It's like training for like an MMA fight. The grappling side of it beats the fuck out of your body. Like it's exhausting. Like kickboxing training and Muay Thai, all that stuff. Like I feel like I can take that better versus like grappling. It's just so much more exhausting. I also, while I started in jiu-jitsu and grappling, I don't have nearly as much fun doing it now as I did then. It's there. Like I know what I know and I don't know what I don't know type thing. I don't know if it'll ever happen. I at one point I wanted to just like, oh, let me hop back into it. I just don't know if it's for me anymore. Maybe one day, like for you, maybe.
I was about to say, it's almost as if I knew that question was coming down the pipeline. And I sequenced that in your questions.
Yeah, like again, so like you don't have your reason why to compete. I don't have my reason why to go back to competing.
So here's the best part is I like the fact that you're like, Ref, I just selfishly want you to be there. And I go, okay, cool. Would you unretire and compete in jiu-jitsu? No. Like, this man is making a very strong appeal without any intention behind it.
Like you say, you don't have your why to compete. I don't have my why to go back to it. I don't know. Maybe somewhere down the line it comes back, but as of right now, I'm just like, man.
I would tell you this. Perhaps there is an event where both you and I go to compete.
I will sign up for that.
Okay.
Just for the novelty alone.
Well, because you would be the one person who got me to compete. And many have tried and failed.
And you know what's so funny is you would be the person that would push me to like, all right, fuck it, I'm going to do it anyways. Well, even if you didn't compete, like you were training, like you would just be that person, but all right, fuck it, Raph, I'll do it. All right, whatever.
Because you are competitive where that wouldn't necessarily be you competing with me. It's now you've got somebody in the trenches with you, which also makes it fun.
Yes,
so exactly. I understand that. And I think that's one of the things that I try to do as a coach is if I am working with people who fight or are doing a big jiu-jitsu thing, is I'm like, nah, I'm there for comp training. So I'm just short of just doing it. It's just
the only thing that's missing is actually showing up to the thing.
That's the hard part is I go, I care in the round. I care in the room, but like everything that happens out of there is I'm always like, nah. And I've noticed the one thing that's helped me is perspective, is that when I show up at a competition and everybody's in groupthink mode, I'm the one voice that's like, no. Because I can come up to you and tell you for real, like, everybody's telling you had a shit performance and is making you feel better, but I can tell you had a shit performance, but like, how does that define you?
Yeah, and you know what's so funny that you say that, because like yesterday, like we had some guys that didn't perform how they wanted to, and my first question to them was, how do you feel? Fuck the result. How do you feel about what you did? And you know, they said, I'm like, all right, at the end of the day, this shit doesn't matter. You're going out here, you're doing what you want to do, you're competing, you're testing yourself, but the result doesn't matter. How do you feel about how you did? So it's funny that you say that. But like for you to say like, okay, I don't have my reason why, you would be my reason why, and it seems like vice versa. I'd be like, all right, well, fuck it, we're both in there. It was so cute.
I would tell you this though. I do know, and I think this is part of the respect of why I'm like, is because all of those guys who have that disappointment, the minute they know how to turn that disappointment into fuel, they become untouchable.
Exactly. And that's the thing, is just like, you take this shit, okay, and then we go back to the gym and then we work, you know how to react next time, especially if it's your first time. Dude, it's your first time going, you don't know what you're going to get. Yeah, that's how, you know, sometimes it goes one way, sometimes it goes the other.
Well, one thing that I had asked you off air is I said, you know, how did people do? Who impressed you? And one of the people you named was Darren. Darren didn't have a great performance in the last time that I'm sure he was like, man, I wish I could have done better. And to hear he became one of the standouts of the gym and had a great match, it's like,
fucking
okay.
Phenomenal.
But again, his why may have changed from before. But he had a why, which was be better. And I think he can take that progress and have that.
And that's your W. That's your win.
That's your win. And I think that one of the things that I know about myself is that I would go, and if I lost, I would become obsessed.
You're like, no, I gotta get that back.
I would allow that to consume me, where everything else is like, it becomes secondary. And so I'm like, nah, I think it's smart to be where I am and recognize that about my personality, because I don't got that time to spend. But I do, with full respect of the sport, of saying like, I don't expect to go out there and win like immediately.
I mean, I think you would.
I don't know. Well, I mean, here's the nice part. If I do Masters, like I probably do.
I'm a Masters too.
You know what I mean? You're like a young Masters. You're like a young G Masters.
I still qualify.
No, I know. I know.
I don't want to, but I do.
But here's like the big secret. Some of these Masters are already on their old man shit. And if you know what I mean, old man shit. So like sometimes you're like, yo, I got this guy. Yeah. And then you're like, oh my God, he's on all the fucking TRT.
And it's funny, like you said, like if you went out there and lost, like you would be obsessed with it. Like my last performance in my last fight I did was not happy with. And now it's like, oh no, I'm obsessed with that. That's why I'm showing up at 6 a.m. because I will never perform that poorly ever again. I will not allow myself to. I will not disrespect myself, Milton, anybody. Like, oh, fuck no. I'm so much better than that.
Favorite WWE/F match of all time? Okay, well, this is fairly easy to me.
Is it?
I mean, there's a few. Honorable mentions. I think you should know these. Honorable mentions, like Brett Shawn Iron Man match.
Standard.
Just to me, when I was a kid, I watched that and I thought, that's what it should be. Like, I get it. Those are two of the best in their era, killing it and just doing nothing but just showing you technical wrestling for an hour. And even though people still do hour-long matches now, and they're amazing, the athleticism is different, and it's very cool to see in this day and age.
It's different.
It's just the storytelling between those two gents. That's why I find like these things that we do, like our match, is I'm like, yo, I'm not as good of an athlete as these people, but I'll lean on my strength of telling a good story.
Yeah.
And if I tell a good story in a match, it's like, oh, what are you setting up that people can't see? So when people are like, oh, I didn't see that swerve with the kid, it's like, oh, yeah,
it's a nice little payoff.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And it's weird because I would have reversed this as a kid. I would have reversed it as a kid. I would have said Iron Man was my favorite, but It's the submission match with Brett and Stone Cold.
Yeah.
Because I think it's
iconic.
It's so iconic for all the reasons, okay? It's a brawling match. So you have a technical guy becoming a brawler and a brawler becoming a technical guy to work with Brett. And then both of them working with color, and then a double turn that has still not been replicated to this day that marched forth an entire era and defined a certain style that made a company that was hemorrhaging not only overperform, but become more relevant than any of us can imagine, to the point where now the people that we watch and love today are trying to capture that.
That match, that, like you said, everything you just said is spot on, especially because, like I said, or like you said, like from that moment on, Stone Cold became who he was. That and the Austin 316 thing, like it just boop, gone.
And I'll be honest with you, Stone Cold was not necessarily my guy because I was always gravitating to the technicians. And I would look at Brett and I'm like, he's doing as good as he can on the microphone. And it wasn't bad. It was just, he did the assignment. Where even now when they look at the clips and they're like, Brett wasn't good. It's like, dude, Brett made a thing about talking shit about the United States from a Canadian perspective that if you look at now isn't even heel work.
Yeah, it's just
like that's almost something like the good guy would say now. It just felt different. So when you look at all those things and all those reasons, I think to myself like, yeah, those are it. But there's a lot of good stuff. That's the best part about now is I feel so oversaturated with good stuff that I can't even appreciate the good stuff for as long as I used to as a kid. Like you held on to an I Quit match. You held on to a 1 hour match, a match like that for almost years. And now if it doesn't happen on Dynamite, you're like, nah, it's kind of weak this week. And then meanwhile, you've got like Jeff Hardy looking over and catching Darby Allin. And you think to yourself, this isn't sustainable. Your body can't do this forever.
It's insane.
I was wrong as a child. This isn't a yearly thing.
No.
You should hold on to your life. Do you have a certain favorite before you pick?
I like Austin and The Rock, WrestleMania 17.
A legendary,
Yeah, that one stands out in my mind. Another one, not necessarily a deep cut, but like maybe off the beaten path, is when Eddie beat Brock for the WWE for the title. Yeah. Fucking phenomenal. Just the crowd, the pop, the match itself, and then Eddie, just outstanding. And then that Monday Night Raw the next day and showing up, just like super emotional. Just shit like those two like really stand out. And then like another one like The Rock and Hogan, but that was more of like a generational thing. That's like if you watch that match without the sound,
I feel you.
It's more of the generation.
It did its job, and
exactly.
It's like. When I look at that, I think of that. Wrestling can be like music. That felt like pop. And that was the pinnacles of pop going up against each other, where you're not even rooting against people in the match per se. You're just rooting for the idea of them.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, Hogan and Rock? Hogan's old.
Hogan's supposed to be a heel.
He's supposed to be a heel.
Cheers, yeah.
But are we indebted to him because he made it so that The Rock could exist?
Yeah.
But then The Rock's a whole different island now. So have we gotten past that? And then just them staring and taking the moments.
Yeah, they knew what it was.
The Rock is so complimentary now because he's inspiration on that. But when he said that Hogan taught him a lot in that match, I believe him because I believe when Hogan... If he was saying that, and The Rock isn't just putting him over for no reason, and The Rock is saying, listen to that crowd, listen to them telling you work, that is a skill that I wish if you are not a performer, you get to experience that kind of a thing once in your life, because the audience sometimes becomes a participant that will give you the feedback that says, we don't like this, we like that. And you have to honor that.
Immediate, too. It's not something that you have to wait for. So, like, I'm a big stand-up comedy fan, so this is true in that. The audience will tell you what is or isn't funny. The audience will tell you in wrestling what they do or don't like. And so, yeah, that moment, just that when they, the bell rings and they're just standing and staring at each other, is so iconic. Like,
again, the match itself did what it needed to do. It wasn't great, but just the moment itself is crazy. But yeah, to answer the question, just straight out, it's Austin Rock at WrestleMania 17. So
That's fair. That's a pretty stellar match. Yeah, I feel it.
I think this is the last one.
This is your last one.
Last one. Nice little folded up
I want to
note.
make sure. Yeah.
If you were to compare yours, grappling to a car, what kind of car would it be? Ooh. That is a fucking question. That is a great question. So like, okay, so my brain goes like, okay, he knows what he's doing, you know? But he's also not flashy.
Okay.
Not flashy.
Accurate.
Like, I don't want to like sound like it's
So you have to understand. Number one, there is no answer that you can give that will be hurtful. Number
I don't
two,
give a fuck.
you're just like,
I'm trying to give a good answer.
I don't know if there's.
I wanna give a good
word.
answer.
Raph, you are similar to a
Sound like
Miata,
Gary Vee.
but you aren't quite a Miata because you know.
No, you sound like the comic book guy from Simpsons.
No,
right now.
that would be right here, and that would be different, and you would be misunderstood if you were to do a voice like that. No, what I'm talking about here is not only will it not hurt my feelings, but like this is set up to be like, if you know your grappling style, you know you are hitting some of the words that I go, yeah, it's about what I thought it would be. So like I had a certain car that I thought it could be.
mind?
I'm just curious if people outside of what I think are in the same vein.
So you're a technical guy. I like a nice, like a brand new, like a Kia Optima. Like, to be fair, full disclosure, I drive a Kia Optima. I have 140,000 miles on that shit. That shit's been through the trenches. Raph? You know?
Yeah.
Been through the trenches, and he's out here working, and it's still going great. I love that fucking car. I didn't drive a Kia. I didn't never know anything about Kia. Great fucking car. Super serviceable. Solid. Gets me to point A to point B to point C, whatever. No problems. That's Raph. Raph will give you what he's got, and it's really good. It's fantastic.
I was like, honestly, I thought it was going to be like a Toyota or Honda kind of a thing. Where it's going to be like, you know what I mean? I don't know that there's much to this car, but like, it works.
It goes.
It's functional.
No. See, yeah, I think Kia's a lot. I think, if you've never been in a Kia, I urge you to check one out. I'm 6'4", 260 pounds. I was like, yo, Kia's kind of big. Like, this shit's working for me. I don't know if I'll ever get anything else but a Kia. But again, great fucking car. It's 140,000 miles, and it works perfectly fine, knock on wood.
All right, here we go. Who is your most
Hated.
disliked sports personality / athlete?
I put in dislike because some people, hate's a strong word, but there's some guys I fucking hate.
You came for the hate police.
I fucking, no. There's some people I hate.
I feel like as a media guy, I'm harshest on media guys. Even if I understand a little bit of the science, but like, I don't like Tom Brady, but I understand he's good at what he does. And sometimes I hate him because I go, yeah, you're really good at your job, and I'd prefer if you weren't. So that's cool. Okay.
I'd prefer if you weren't.
I'd prefer if you were not. Sports fans like to always think that they have some sort of evil villain in an MCU sort of justification for disliking certain people. They're like, no. See, Tom Brady once owned the factory that my dad worked at and then got rid of the factory. And ever since then, I've held a beef with him. It's like, no, Tom was really good and beat the fucking Colts.
And you fucking hate it.
And you really sucked and hated it that year. And guess what? You live in Indiana, so you already have a lot going against you.
Shout out to Pat McAfee.
But, oh, God, yeah. And you know what? Props to him because he figured out the solution.
Yes.
But
Brady's a good one. Brady's like kind of like a go-to. Like, I used to hate Brady a lot, but now I just appreciate him for what
I still do hate Brady, but
I hate him differently now.
yeah, not for the reasons of anything other than if he's not playing football, I don't care. But now he's going to be on Fox Sports. And when he shows up, or is it? Yeah, it's Fox Sports. When he shows up on Fox Sports, I think it'll be different. It's a similar thing with what's his face? With DC, where I go, oh, DC, you were a very good fighter. No one can deny that. But like, I'm going to roast you now because you talk.
Yeah.
And that's my area.
You've given me my open.
All right, here we go. I think it's Stephen A. Smith. But in the MMA context.
Okay,
why.
that's fair.
Because everywhere else makes sense. And there's a moment where I think he entertained being in our world, and we gave him some feedback and said, we'd prefer if you don't show up here.
Stephen A being Stephen A, he's going to take that and like, oh, that's cool. I'm going to be here anyways.
Right. And again, what he says isn't unfounded in other sports, but it's to the point where we can joke about him and say that he would tell Joe Rogan if his right hand connects with his face, he'd be knocked out. And you go, yeah, I believe that. Yeah, that works. Okay, that's really, really dumb and silly. There was a movement where he said that Donald Cerrone looked broken in a fight.
I think it was against Connor.
Against Connor, but then Donald Cerrone recently in the press said, I was a little broken. I didn't want to be there. And people were like, Stephen A. Smith was right. And I go,
you're retrofitting it.
Oh my God.
You're retrofitting.
You know what it is, guys. Donald Cerrone didn't fight a good fight against Conor McGregor.
No, he didn't.
Period. Just period. And it's sad for us because we all like him. We respect what he's done.
He's one of my favorite fighters.
When you brought that up and you were talking about how sad you were that he didn't show up that day, I felt you, but I also thought this prolongs it, so that means we can see it a little bit.
Oh, yeah, we see it more.
Then he said, he went from Dana White saying, like, loser leaves town between him and Lozon to Donald Cerrone correcting the narrative and being like, nah, 2 more fights.
No, I'm not done yet.
And I go, oh, fuck, good for you, dude. But Stephen A. Smith, when they retrofitted that, I thought, this is people looking a little bit too deep. I think that sometimes personalities in other sports, they have to do a lot. And they were trying to bring him in when they were trying to launch ESPN Plus, and they were trying to launch the UFC's partnership with him. And they thought that they would afford somebody who knows a lot about our sport something, or at least enough where they could do a little bit of the Cliff Notes version and maybe make a presence. What he loaned was his presence, but what we gained was a lot of nonsense. And it was so embarrassing that I know a lot of people were complaining about him, but me looking at that as a broadcaster, I thought they should dock your pay. Like, if you were at a different job and you fucked up and said something as stupid as he did, they would take some of your money away, and they would be right to. And I thought, it's kind of the risk reward, which is he came to our sport. Thank you for giving some of us attention. But when he came and he spoke
didn't offer anything.
So dumb
value.
about it. And there are other things that I've seen him have takes on that I go, oh, that's fine. Yeah, that works. Or I get what he's doing. Oh, look at that. He's going to get you guys talking. You're going to get all in your feelings about it. I have no problem. When he showed up in MMA and he started talking about stuff, I go, you need to move out of this conversation.
That's the thing with Stephen A. And I love Stephen A. I like how much he riles people up, especially how much he hates the Cowboys fan base.
I hate Cowboys too, by the way.
My girl is a Cowboys fan and talks shit. She fucking can't stand him, so that would be her answer too. But I explained to her, you know what he's doing. He's riling you. That's the point. But for him to step into a world of MMA and then try to give some sort of technical analysis, no, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Comment from a fan's point of view, okay, that you're a fan. I take it as that. But try to give some technical analysis, no, we don't want that. Thank you. We don't want that. So Stephen A., in the MMA sphere, okay, I agree with you.
There was a moment where I put up a joke, and it didn't do anything. It didn't do numbers. It didn't do anything significant. And I didn't know how I felt about putting it up, but I don't try to overthink jokes. If I feel it, I just type it, and I don't care. But when I look at the result of it, I go, that's a little weird. But I was kind of like, dude, the joke I felt at the time was, I go, Stephen A. Smith got the first interview with Triple H after it was announced he had something that misfunctioned, if you would, in his heart. And I go, it's the worst thing. I didn't feel bad that Triple H had problems with his heart. I felt bad that he had to tell Stephen A. Smith he was retiring. And
of all people.
Yeah, and I thought, man, are you guys trying to kill him again? What's happening here? And it was something to that effect. And I go, maybe I just didn't word it right. But the sentiment of it was, you take the concept of Stephen A. Smith and you say, fuck with that. I watched the interview with him, and the one thing that you can't deny about his interview skill is that as he's talking to Triple H, and it's all PR publicity bullet points that Triple H is going through, which, again, a very sentimental moment. We want to make sure he's okay. I don't wish ill upon him. But when you get the feel that this is all synergy between, different companies and sort of a feel. Stephen A. Smith was bringing a lot of passion. So there's a moment toward the end where he starts saying like, Triple H, you're known as one of the best in the business. And I'm like, the space between the words.
Throw me off.
Like there's this much copy. And it's just, he's building up the expectation of, where am I going to go with this? Move that prompter up a little bit. Okay. Like, if this fell out of his fucking ear, he would be a professional enough to just keep going.
Keep going.
But when he looked at it, the question was, what would it take for Stephen A. Smith to get into the WWE? And I go, you know what? Not much, because this shit would work. And as much as I go, fuck this clown, I thought you would kill.
He would 100%.
It's like a Paul brother in the WWE. You go, fuck, he was really good at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
Can't deny that.
Logan was really good.
Don't know which one. Same person to me,
Logan.
honestly. Those white kids, exactly the same to me.
Logan's the nice one.
Define nice. Be like, do you know them personally?
He's not talking shit to.
Did he bring you a pie one day at your home?
Okay. That's the character I won't say character. That's the person that he's portraying as the nice kid.
I just know that when I saw him at WrestleMania, I said, hey, that kid's good.
He's doing great.
Here's a little hint to you guys who watch this at home. Don't ever give them a name, because then it gives them power. So when I look at the both of them, I go, no, it's a Paul brother. That's it.
Disrespect. I don't get it. What
do you mean? You don't get the disrespect?
Okay, so no, I get it in terms of like, oh, these kids, what the fuck? They're famous for doing nothing on YouTube, blah, blah, blah. I started because that's how I was originally, but I started looking at it from a different angle. It's just like, oh, it's all entertainment. It's all just playing this person, playing like this, like for Jake, the boxer. Like, it's me playing this character of being a complete shithead, but I don't think he's really that. And then Logan, which this has come out, is that he doesn't, like, if he does the WWE stuff, he doesn't want to be a heel. He doesn't want people booing him. He doesn't like not being liked. He wants to be the good guy. He wants to be the face. Despite what the audience may feel, when you first see him, they want to boo him just because of who he is.
Someone needs to sit him down with a bunch of Rocky Maivia sort of DVDs and go, no, this could work for you.
It could end up being good, but so that's when you say the nice one. Like, Logan's like the good guy. Like, he wants. I think he genuinely wants to be liked, and that's why. And who doesn't?
That's fine.
Versus Jake, who relishes in people fucking booing him and hating him, and he plays into it more. So I realize them as both as characters. So that's where it gets for me.
I don't care about them. I don't have any feeling toward them.
Get your money, whatever.
Again, it's the similar thing with Stephen A. Smith, where I go, well, you make a lot of money, so I'm not going to hate on that, because there's always a pathway to make money for other people. The problem is, if you support the dumb way to make money, you get dumber content. So don't come complaining to this guy when you see the worst fights or the worst inclusion of Stephen A. Smith inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame.
Oh, Jesus.
When I have mapped it out for you all. But I always see degrees of success. And again, I was open enough to see the Paul brother be at WrestleMania and go, yo, that's one of the best debuts of all time.
Objectively
it's up there with Ronda. Not quite Bad Bunny.
No, he wasn't Bad Bunny.
But like, fuck, dude, it is a top tier debut at WrestleMania.
Absolutely. Objectively speaking, I don't care how you feel about him. It was fucking great.
But again, it was almost enough for me to learn his name, and then I just said, I don't see you much around here. So until
I'm curious
we get
to
there,
see what they do with him off topic.
I think. Listen, bring him in for the big events. You already sold him and Miz.
It'll pop
as
me.
A thing.
I'm interested.
I'm in it. Well, listen, we've worked our way through the questions. We worked our way through this beer. Kevin, you've been wonderfully generous with your time. Look at that camera. Shout out all the people that you want to shout out.
Let me turn this around, because I haven't turned it around the entire time.
That's fine. I just like that when I said shout out whoever you wanted to shout out, you were like, I'd like to shout out the Saints. And I was like,
shout out to Nolans. Who that, baby?
Right over here, sir.
So, first and foremost, shout out to Raph for inviting me here, having me here. I always enjoy our time here doing these things, these interbrews, these interviews, all the podcasts, all the watch-alongs, all that shit. It's a lot of fun to get out here and talk shit and have fun and joke around and all that stuff. So, shout out to you, sir. Shout out to Mama. Shout out to everybody that trains here. You know who you are. You're my family. I love every single one of you. This PKB the other day, you all did great. Love you all. Shout out to Mama. Shout out to Milton, my brother. Love you. Shout out to Love Movement. My boy Jordan in Africa right now built a school for these kids that live in slums and built a school. It's a fucking beautiful thing. The best person I know. So shout out to him. And then last but not least, Fighters Rep 14. Daddy's back. Come see me. Tickets are on sale right now. You know where to find me.
It's always, every time you're like, Daddy. It's
Daddy.
Like, yeah, okay.
Daddy's back. Don't forget it.
I almost put up a status update one day. I was like, dude, people who ever say like, yo, Daddy, I was like, we need to retire. I was like, oh, that's whole Kevin shtick. I can't do that. I take
Daddy's
that away
back.
from me.
Daddy's home. Taking over. Got somebody holding something that's mine. I'm coming for it.
Oh, all right. That's better. I like the last one. The last sentence there is great. Every time everybody's like, Daddy, I'm like, nah, dude. All right, listen, we got some paternal issues we need to get through. What I want to tell people is this. We did good work here. I'm very happy about the June 25th date, Fighters Rep 14. You don't want to miss it. And more importantly, Mama, great place to train. I teach here. You teach here. You coach here. It's great stuff. So we love the guys over this way. Shout out to Milton.
Yes.
All angry 5'2" of him.
Mike Wazowski.
So funny.
He's got long limbs and a short
Bro,
torso.
he's the one that told me that. And he goes,
yes.
They call me Mike Wazowski. And I go, oh, why would they do that? And he goes, look at me. And I go,
nailed it.
I didn't want to do that, man. I write jokes about people. I try not to do that type of shit. But what I wanted to say was, again, we had great collaboration work. We had great work, period. I'm glad people were entertained by it. And I am very glad to see what will come up next of these things. So before we sign off, let's just say this. We're going to do a little clink of the final. Oh, you already drank all your beer.
Yeah. I got a little sippy sip.
Oh, you got a little sip?
Yeah,
all right, as long as you got some. Cheers to you. We'll do
cheers.
this again when you bring home a title, sir.
Absolutely.
All right, that'll do it for us here at Grappling Hour. We appreciate you guys. And I would say throw back to the desk, but I'm just going to end it here. You guys are great. You know what to do. Follow us on all the social media and all that bullshit. It's been a great day for grappling. We'll see you back on the mats.
Perfect.